is a stronger argument for veganism. This is why peer-reviewed research shows if America alone were to switch to a plant-based food system, we'd be able to feed over twice our current population. This is why research shows livestock in America consume 7 times more grain than all of Americans combined. This is why the largest meta-analysis to date on the relationship between food and our environment concludes that a vegan diet is more sustainable than an omnivorous one, and we would be able to reduce global farmland by 75% because we wouldn't be growing mass amounts of crops and feeding them to livestock. This same meta-analysis concludes that animal agriculture takes up 83% of agricultural land and only provides us with 18% of our calories. So if you care so much about these plants that you claim to care about and crop harvest death, why aren't you vegan? Because that is a stronger argument for veganism. We would require less crops in a vegan world. Absolute garbage. Yeah, but they taste good though. Deriving sensory pleasure from harming another sentient being isn't a moral justification to harm another sentient being. You are no different than Kurt Zuma kicking his cat. The only reason Kurt Zuma kicked his cat was because he derived pleasure from it. You're no different. The only reason you eat animals is because you derive pleasure from it. You do not need to eat animals in order to be healthy, so the only reason you're doing it is because you derive pleasure. And as a matter of fact, I would argue what you're doing is far worse to animals than what Kurt Zuma did to his cat. Because that cat that Kurt Zuma kicked, at least that cat's still alive. The animals that you eat are no longer alive. They had their entire life taken away for your selfishness of 5 seconds of taste pleasure. Ask yourself this: would you rather be Kurt Zuma's cat getting kicked across a room, or would you rather be a pig getting gassed alive, burning slowly from the inside out so that you can eat its flesh? It's not even close for me. Let's see what else we got. It's bad for the economy. If it's bad for the economy, bro, explain to me this. Why is meat and dairy in America subsidized $38 billion every year, and fruits and veg is only subsidized 0.004% of that? It's because meat and dairy is so economically unsustainable that it's forced to be subsidized that much money every single year. You're just objectively wrong. And we have research showing a vegan economy would be a better economy. So you're just objectively wrong once again. Vegan diet's bad for the environment. Oh no, we have another one saying things confidently with having absolutely no idea what you're talking about. The largest meta-analysis to date on the relationship between food and our environment claims that the vegan diet is more sustainable than any other diet. It claims it emits less greenhouse gases, uses less land, uses less resources, is way less water intensive. So you're objectively wrong. And this is the largest meta-analysis to date on this subject. For those of you who don't know, which probably most of you don't, a meta-analysis is the highest form of evidence on the hierarchy of evidence. And the largest meta-analysis says this. So the highest form of evidence disagrees with you. I'm sorry, but the facts do not care about your feelings. You are just objectively wrong, simply incorrect. Plants are alive. Bro, if you care about plants, why aren't you vegan? According to peer-reviewed research, as I already stated earlier, it takes 6 kilograms of crops to make 1 kilogram of meat. According to the United Nations, it takes 10 pounds of crops to make 1 pound of meat. So when you're eating animals, on top of killing the animals, you're also killing 6 to 10 times more plants that you claim to care so much about. If you actually think that cutting a soybean is the same thing as slitting a cow's throat, why aren't you vegan? 85% of soybeans are grown to feed the animals that you eat. So on top of killing more animals, you're also killing so much more plants that you claim to care so much about. And I can prove that you do not even believe in what you're saying. If you're driving down the middle of the road and you have 2 options, you can either A, run over a dog, or B, swerve right and miss the dog running into a cornfield. What do you choose? Because if you choose to miss the dog, you don't even believe in your very own logic because you just killed 10 stalks of corn instead of killing just 1 dog. This is why you will never see a firefighter running into a house saving a plant over a dog, because plants are not sentient. They do not have a brain or a central nervous system. This is why Venus flytraps, if you set a cigarette in its mouth, will close down. There's videos of this happening because they don't have the consciousness to make the conscious decision to say, hey, this is a cigarette, it's not a fly, this is going to hurt my health. So that's an absolutely terrible argument, and that's actually a stronger argument for veganism, seeming the majority of crops go to feed the animals that you eat. Absolutely insane. Let's see what else we got. Plants don't provide us with all the nutrients you need. Objectively wrong statement. Name a single essential nutrient that we can't get on a vegan diet. Just one. Because the largest group of nutrition experts in the entire world, after analyzing all currently available evidence and data, have concluded that the vegan diet is nutritionally adequate and healthy at all stages of life through pregnancy, infancy, and for athletes. So to say otherwise is to disagree with scientific consensus. I'm sorry, but the facts do not care about your feelings. Your opinion is completely irrelevant when there is literally peer-reviewed statements from the largest group of nutrition experts in the entire world stating otherwise. Let's see what else we got. You're special. Okay, cool. It's not an argument against veganism. Give me something. Being vegan doesn't make it more ethical. It absolutely does. On one hand, you're not needlessly slaughtering trillions of animals for absolutely no reason like we do every year while you sit back and virtue signal saying you love animals. Being vegan is better for the environment as concluded by the largest meta-analysis to date on the relationship between food and our environment. And another fun fact that people don't realize, by going vegan, you greatly reduce the risk of the next global pandemic. 75% of emerging disease is infectious disease. And the most likely way this happens is through animal agriculture. So by going vegan, you also reduce the risk of the next global pandemic. And some examples of diseases we've seen stemming from animal agriculture before: swine flu, bird flu, mad cow disease, and much others. So yeah, it's better for the environment, better for infectious disease, better for your health, and better for the animals. So it is objectively more ethical. You're just wrong to say otherwise. You simply have no idea what you're talking about. All right, let's see what else we got. There is a reason it tastes good. Once again, so cannibals think you taste good. So is that a good reason for a cannibal to go around slitting humans' throats and eating them? Because, hey, bro, they think they taste good. So if you derive pleasure from something, that means you're morally justified to do it. You just justified what Kurt Zuma did, dog. Kurt Zuma derived pleasure from kicking his cat. You are no different than him, bro. You don't need to eat meat. The only reason you're doing it is for sensory pleasure. The only reason Kurt Zuma kicked his cat is for sensory pleasure. So you're just... That's absolutely insane to say. Let's see what else we got. Eating animals is legal, though. Legality is not morality. If you think something is morally justified because it's legal, congratulations, the Holocaust was legal. Slavery was legal. Women not being able to vote was legal. Gays not being able to marry was legal. That does not mean any of these things are morally justified because of legality. Legality is not morality. That is an absolutely terrible argument. So let's see what else we got. You got your beliefs, we got ours. I mean, you can say that, but 99% of you will sit back and virtue signal like little cucks every single day on Facebook saying that you love animals, while you simultaneously pay for animals to die every day of your life. 99% of people in surveys say that they're against animal abuse, but somehow magically 99% of people eat animals every single day of their lives. Tell me how that works out. How can you say you're against animal abuse while you simultaneously are paying for animal abuse? Eating meat is not animal abuse? You're objectively wrong. By definition, you are wrong. The definition of abuse is to cause cruelty, harm, or violence onto an animal or a human. When you pay for meat, you are causing cruelty, violence, and harm onto an animal. So by definition, that is animal abuse. You're wrong by definition. You simply have no idea what you're talking about. So this person says overpopulation. I already responded to this. Saying that animals would overpopulate if we stopped eating them is like saying dogs would overpopulate if we stopped buying them from breeders. The only reason these animals are here is because farmers artificially breed them into existence in order to meet demand, in order to keep up with demand. It's literally basic supply and demand, Econ 101. If you weren't paying for the product, farmers wouldn't be artificially breeding these animals into existence in order to supply and meet the demand for that product. It's Econ 101. Don't pay for it, they won't be here. The only reason these animals are here is because you pay for them to be. How tall are you? I'm 5'10". Let's see what else we got. Farming kills animals. Yeah, you are right. When you harvest crops, animals do die. If this is something you care about, why aren't you vegan? Because it takes 6 kilograms of crops to make 1 kilogram of meat. So it takes 6 times more crops in order to feed the animals that you eat. So on top of slaughtering billions of animals every year, you cause 6 times more crop death. So if you want to reduce crop death, the best way to do that is to go vegan, because the animals you eat consume way more grain than we do. As a matter of fact, peer-reviewed research shows us that livestock in America consumes 7 times more grain than all of Americans combined. And this is why peer-reviewed research shows if America alone were to switch to a plant-based food system, we'd be able to feed over twice our current population. That's another thing I want to talk about. On top of veganism being better for the environment, on top of veganism being better at preventing infectious disease and global pandemics, on top of veganism being better for the animals, on top of veganism being better for our health, it is also